of my four video series on metabolism and its relationship to weight. So today we're going to talk about exercising smart, and then how nutritional timing and when we eat can feed into recovery from exercise, but then also creating that kind of almost fasting at night to allow for almost a reset in our metabolism. So to get started, I think it's really important to acknowledge that not everybody loves the gym, and that's okay. Finding where you can really access physical activity is important, and whether that's at a gym, outdoors, at a yoga studio, or in your own basement, it's really important to figure out what is going to work well for you, what you're going to enjoy, because that's much more likely something you're going to stick to. You need to determine if you're the type of person who works out well with a friend, or if you prefer this as a solitary activity. Do you prefer running outdoors? Do you like a gym because there's an instructor kind of running the show for you and keeping you in line, pushing your limits, or are you able to do that yourself? These are all things to consider when you're picking a new form of exercise. One thing that's really crucial when you're designing your approach for exercise is implementing not just cardiovascular workouts, so running, spinning, and different kind of like step class, say, body combat, all these things that are offered in gyms now, but pairing that with strength building. Strength building exercises, and it doesn't have to be like weights, it can be body weight exercise, helps build muscle. And muscle boosts our metabolism and helps us burn fat faster. So it's a really important part for overall strength, but then also for achieving your goals and seeing outcomes a little bit faster than you would if you didn't implement that element of exercise. So again, very important for figuring out what works well for you. Is it okay for you to buy a set of weights and work out in your basement on your own? Is that going to be enough? Is that something you're going to do 2 or 3 times a week? Or do you need to have a gym membership and go to a class where someone is monitoring your posture, monitoring the actual routine, and ensuring that you're getting enough repetitions in to really accomplish a goal? Sometimes personal trainers can be a really great asset in that department as well, if you're the type of person who would like some one-on-one coaching. And for someone who maybe is just getting started, that can be a really beneficial tool to put in place if you're able to invest in that. In general, you want to kind of think about pairing different activities with each other. This will create more of a sense of diversity and will keep you from getting bored. So one activity that has been shown to have really great results is high intensity interval training. So that's where you're seeing like spin classes at Good Life, for example, will use that kind of approach in developing their cardio plans, so that you're accomplishing these intervals, which tends to be better for fat burning than just going for like a 10K run. Similarly, you'll see Body Attack is a very similar approach. All these classes are really built that way because so much research has been done to support this as a really effective tool for accomplishing our goals and seeing physical results, which tends to be one of the more encouraging things. I try to tell people to stay away from focusing too much on the number on the scale and use measurements, like a measuring tape, to actually determine their measurements, and following those changes as well as numbers on the scale. Sometimes what you might see is kind of a plateau where your weight loss just seems to stay stagnant, but that can happen when you're building muscle, because muscle will weigh more than fat, and so you will actually be losing fat but gaining muscle, and so the number kind of stays the same. But your measurements would show much more benefit, and so it's important to really watch your inches as well as your pounds. Another really important element of exercise is nutritional recovery. So making sure that you're replenishing those sources of fuel, replenishing hydration, and replenishing protein, because protein is going to be our recovery tool. So recovery is really important for being able to continue your exercise plan. It's better to go moderate exercise several times a week versus go once and be in so much pain afterwards that you can't go again. So employing different nutritional elements can really help with that. Depending on the type of exercise that you do, you want to see someone who can really help you set out what's going to work for you. Are you the type of person who needs glutamine because your muscles are in a lot of pain afterwards? Or do you benefit more from an Epsom salt bath? Do you feel comfortable eating chicken after a workout, or do you benefit more from having the accessibility to a protein shake? These are all different things that need to be considered, and you need to pick and choose what works well for you, or you won't do it. You won't stick with it. And falling off the wagon in these things can be really detrimental in our ability to stick with a plan and really reach our goals. So making smaller steps and choosing things that work well for you and putting those in place are so much more important than following something that maybe someone else is doing and it not working well for you and you feeling very defeated. So to kind of sum up there, you want to consider what exercise works well for you, whether or not you need more support in that department from a personal trainer or a class instructor, or if you're capable of doing this by yourself. Seeking out some nutritional support from a naturopath or a nutritionist to determine what kind of nutritional support you need for the type of workout you're doing at the weight that you're currently at. Any current conditions that you might have need to be accounted for, and your goals are also accounted for. These are things that a healthcare professional can help you design that is very individualized as opposed to something that you might print out off the internet. So in general, the other element when it comes to exercise is timing our food so that we get the right recovery. So within half an hour of completing your workout, you want to be restoring. So you want about 20 grams of protein within half an hour of completing your workout. You want to make sure that you drink water before, during, and after your workout so that you're not dehydrated. And you want to make sure that you get a little bit of a carbohydrate serving in there at some point as well. So that can be a granola bar, whether it's an apple, banana, something that's going to provide some nutritional sustenance, but is also replacing some of the fuel that you've just used up in your exercise. This makes us more capable of recovering and then resuming exercise again the following day or 2 days later. Timing our food is also really important throughout the day. So we already discussed in the second video of having the 6 small meals instead of 3 large meals, and that is really important, but when we have those meals is also important. So throughout the day, it's not as adamant that we have them at specific times, but you want to set an end point to when you're eating in the day. And generally, we set that as about 7 or 8 p.m., and then breakfast the next morning around the same time, 7 or 8 a.m. This creates a state of fasting and results in less fuel being stored as fat overnight. So if we eat dinner very late, you want to then not eat breakfast until a little bit later the next day. It's a really simple thing to put into place, but actually can really impact how groggy you feel in the morning and how quickly we reach our goals. So that timing is a really important element, not only with exercise, but also just day to day. Water intake obviously is crucial as well, but you want to be drinking water all day and making sure that you're getting it in on a regular basis. Like we discussed before, having the 2 glasses of water before each meal can make a huge difference in how hungry you actually feel, and that's really important. One element that I found is that people tend to drink water at the gym and then they put their water bottle away and just completely forget about it. So it's important to pick a water bottle that you like and just take it with you everywhere. It should be in the car with you when you're driving around running errands. It should be with you while you're watching TV. It should be with you at your desk at work. Pick one that you like and just keep it with you. It's the easiest way to make sure that you're drinking water on a consistent basis throughout the day. Once you hit that point where you're feeling thirsty, it's already too late. That's actually a sign of dehydration. So you really want to prevent that being your trigger for drinking water. Not always the easiest thing to do, but it's becoming more and more normal, I guess, to see people having water with them at all times. So do what you can, work it into your lifestyle, but one of the easiest things I've found has been to pick a water bottle that you like and just stick with it. It's very important. So to sum up, with this element, exercise, you want to pick something you really like, figure out how it works into your life, whether it's with people, on your own, with a teacher, or with a personal trainer. Make sure that you're getting the nutritional support before, during, and afterwards to really recover properly, and make sure that you're preventing dehydration. So that will be the end of the 3rd video. For our 4th and final video in this series, we're going to be discussing supplements. which supplements can help, which ones are really just a waste of money, whether it's worth investing in these kind of things or not, and what they all supposed to be doing. So we'll discuss that then, and I hope you stay tuned. Hi there, I'm Dr. Elena Gare, and this is part 3